Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Rewind, that weekly show brought to you by Smacked Raw, where normally it's RN and myself run you down everything that's happening in and outside the wrestling ring. He's currently on sabbatical. I think he's like on a road trip with his dad. So filling in once again, unofficial Smacked Raw member, Miss Marie Shadows. What's up, Marie?
Hey, man. How's it going?
How's it going? We are slowly but surely making you part of the show.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, it's if there was any time for you to do back-to-back shows, this was it, because obviously, just like the last show where we were previewing nights 1 and 2 of the G1 Climax, they have happened, and so you're going to help fill us in what happened, because of course, I haven't watched it yet, so really happy I have you here, because you said you just finished watching
Night 2.
Night 2. I'm assuming you already watched Night 1.
Yes, I have all of my notes.
Good
and
Lord.
So, yeah.
Like a true professional. I just pull up like WrestlingInc.com and yeah. Hey, fun fact, by the way, if you are trying to cover the G1 Climax on Twitch, apparently the word Climax gets flagged as the title of your stream. So yeah, you can't have Climax in the title, I learned tonight.
But you can't have pools filled with water and be in a bikini.
You can have ear licking ASMR weird fucking videos. That was like when I created my Twitch, that was like the first streams it just thought I would be into. Like that was
they really did.
God, dude, it plagued the front of my Twitch page like for way too long. Jesus Christ. Speaking of Twitch, you guys can always catch the Rewind live on twitch.tv/SmackedRaw every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Unless me and RN are slacking, then usually we'll just follow up on Monday about the same time. If you ever miss a live stream, you can head on over to YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe. Let's try to get, okay, you know what I've learned is people don't hit the like button if you ask them to. You have to like do something weird. So let's just try to get this podcast to 13 likes, a humble 13 likes, guys. Hit that
13.
Yes, hit that like button for me, and then lastly, if you listen to the audio version, just leave a rating and review, or just keep listening. Either way, we don't care, man. Thank you guys, thank you for supporting the show. It's awesome. Before we dive into the G1 Climax, Marie, I brought a couple like minor talking points, things that caught my eye over the last week. Some lighter topics comparatively from what we've had going on, like the Vince McMahon drama and all of that bullshit. So first things first, a big congrats to Jade Cargill, who, according to Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful.com, she just surpassed 500 days undefeated in AEW this week. Of course, that often gets compared to Goldberg's streak, which was 462 days. That makes it official. Jade Cargill is a greater wrestler than Goldberg. I think that's what that means.
Why didn't they compare it to like Trish Stratus's reign or Lita's reign or
Asuka's,
Jacqueline's or Asuka? Yeah, like why does that have to be Bill Goldberg?
Because it's the word streak. You can't have wrestling streak. Goldberg just has a copyright on wrestling streak.
Or how about, who was it? Nikki's title reign. Like she held the belt long too. But
this isn't a title reign. This is just being undefeated.
Undefeated?
Undefeated. Yeah.
Undefeated for 5. Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about like title reign.
No, not her title reign, just undefeated streak. That's all.
Everyone else got beaten. That's right. Yeah. Bill Goldberg was the only one to not really get beaten until, they tased his ass.
Still, god damn, man, that taser.
All right. Well, You know what? I'll change my attitude and be like, congratulations to Jade for being undefeated. I do not know who can take her down at this point. Because then if they do, what's going to happen for the person that wins and breaks the streak?
It's like those shoes are getting really big to fill, aren't they? It's kind of like when Asuka was brought up to WWE undefeated. Everybody was kind of panicking, like, how do we beat Asuka at this point? And so they, I think they should just do it there. Just fly in Charlotte. That's who will do it, right? Just fly Charlotte in. She can beat Jade Cargill.
You want everyone to get upset at you?
Hey, why not, man?
That's the easy way.
Why not? Just have Charlotte do it, man.
And then Charlotte.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't really have anything other. I just saw that stat tonight. I thought that was pretty dope. Other thing too, heading on over to WWE side of thing. Are you keeping up with WWE loosely at all by any chance?
Very, very loosely, since I'm doing the G1 so heavily.
Okay, so one of the stories going into SummerSlam, and minor story, it's a B story at most, is the feud between the Street Profits and the Usos.
Okay.
It's not huge. It's just, the Usos right now holding both Raw and SmackDown titles feel kind of like a big deal. Little bit of dissension being told on the side of the Street Profits. You don't see it on screen. It's commentary driving the narrative, which if we all know great storytelling, it's always tell and don't show. It's a sarcasm for anybody who's not picking up on that. But anyways, there's been some screwy finishes with their feud recently. So they said they're going to have a special guest referee at SummerSlam. There's been kind of a bigger build for it. It was revealed on SmackDown on Friday that the special guest referee, legendary tag team specialist, Jeff Jarrett, to probably one of the mildest receptions ever. What's your thought? What's your initial thoughts on hearing the tag team specialist legend himself, Jeff Jarrett, will referee this tag team championship match?
I mean, the first thought that popped into my head was that it's an ordinary payday, even though he's a legend and he's in this business like forever and stuff. I mean, I don't really care too much about it. I do know we're gonna get our usual spots of the guitar shot. He better play a riff before he destroys the guitar. I feel like I'm saying the word wrong.
No, you said riff. Yeah, you got it.
No, like the word guitar. I don't know why. Anyway, but I don't really care too much, but I do think that Jeff Jarrett is going to screw over the Usos and the Street Profits are going to.
That's an awesome take.
Yeah, I really do think that's going to happen. One, because I'm getting a little too tired for the Usos to hold the belts as much as I do like them as a tag team and stuff. But it's just like you're holding both sets of belts and you're not adding any type of layer or extra drama where someone else could come in from the outside, or, you're completely going against Roman Reigns and you're like, look, man, this is not feeling like family anymore or whatever, some type of turmoil. So I could be like, okay, the Usos can still keep the belts, because there's not really much progression in the story either side. I just need them to drop the belts and have freaking the Street Profits continue with the tag team division for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to go. I don't think that's what's going to happen, just because, like I said, commentary is hell-bent on telling the story that there's dissension between Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Although, like I said, none of it is playing out on screen. That is just one of the weirdest things. Like their chemistry in the ring, their behavior, coming, going to and from the ring, and even in their backstage promos, there's nothing really, if you watched the show on silent without commentary, there'd be nothing to tell you that these guys are having trouble. But with that being said, I feel like, I'll stick with the Usos. Dude, it's so surreal, because I'm trying to think of another time where there was a special guest referee, and they had just as little to do with the match, because the only reason I can see Jeff Jarrett involved in this is just his ties to Nashville. That's where SummerSlam is.
Yep.
You're just rolling him out, but it's so odd that it's like, let's roll out Jeff Jarrett if in all things, as a special guest referee. You would think he'd do like a dueling promo against like Ezekiel for Elias' sake, or
oh my god, imagine.
Yeah, something clever like that, but who knows? I mean,
but I was gonna bring this up. What about the time that Stone Cold was referee and he had to do the Brock Lesnar and Goldberg match? He was special guest referee.
That's true. He didn't have shit to do with that, did he?
No, I don't think he really did. I don't really remember too much about it, but
I don't remember. I don't think he had anything to do with the story in my head either.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the only thing that saved that match at the end.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He stunnered everybody. You think that'll happen? That's what'll happen is Jeff Jarrett will just like, the match will stop and he'll call everyone slap nuts and then just start taking them out with guitar shots.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Book it, WWE.
To a standing ovation from that Nashville crowd.
Yeah, they're gonna eat it all up.
Oh man. You know what wouldn't surprise me though is if that does happen, they draw blood. Because the last piece of news here is Raw apparently is going back to TV 14, which this broke through Andrew Zarian of the Matman podcast, and then kind of got a subtle confirmation from Pat McAfee on SmackDown during one of his promos. I guess there was like an unruly fan in the audience who called Baron Corbin something. The microphone didn't pick it up, but Pat said, "Hey, we're not TV 14 just yet." So that was kind of like an on-screen confirmation. Okay. But is this look, not that Raw or anything needs saving, but is this going to save it? Is this going to save WWE, Marie?
I mean, if we look at NXT 2.0, all those sexy women are saving it. So going to TV 14 is probably going to save it too.
That's exactly what I thought is. A lot of news reports were talking not that long ago, but they were talking about NXT. They wanted, who was it? Athena was the wrestler who spoke out and said, that there was a meeting. They wanted women. Yeah, they compared them to Mandy Rose and wanted like that sexiness and. Yeah, dude, the first thing that came to mind was Cody Rhodes. I was like, Cody Rhodes is going to bleed buckets now when he comes back. It's like, that's who, I'm telling you, Cody came back to WWE and changes are being made. Like, I'll call it a day if Cody Rhodes wins that world title and they crown him like with the Winged Eagle belt. Like, that'll be it. I'll be like, all right. Cody came back and saved WWE.
You know exactly that's exactly what's going to happen, especially when he showed up at WrestleMania. I was like, yeah, man, they're going to give him the belt. Just wait for it. It's going to happen. And then he could finally, if he wants to, retire because he doesn't have to do anything much after that. He's got nothing
left to prove, man.
Yeah.
He's got nothing left to prove. I gotta say, dude, I ain't gonna lie. Now with a little bit of time since Cody got that torn pec and everything.
Yeah.
Dude, his move back to WWE is probably one of like the smartest so far, appearing like the smartest and biggest moves in pro wrestling. I gotta say, at least that I watch. Because
I totally agree with
he
that.
has felt like a huge deal since he's come back.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And that's what happens when it comes to like WWE and to production. As much as they want you to like be professional and know what you're doing, if you could take like direction and then like all those camera cuts, I know we always complain about it and we always get dizzy, but sometimes the camera cuts like can make the wrestler look good at a certain angle to sort of hide any type of flaws that the wrestler is still working on. So like, we always give WWE shit, but you have to look at it from like a movie perspective. If you and your friends are going out into like the middle of the woods to shoot like a mini video, you're gonna get different angles to like try and create the story that you want. And that's what WWE does. They create stories. Cody Rhodes is a perfect example. Like his story coming back, the way that they do the production, everything is up like 100% with Cody Rhodes, and then also including Seth Rollins in that, and telling Seth Rollins to just take it up to 1,000 with your character. Like, it's more for like sitting at home, forgetting your troubles, and watching a freaking movie that doesn't always have as much wrestling as it should be, like it did back in the day.
No, I'm with you. I've always thought that like I've always kind of thought like WWE, it's no one can do better than WWE when they're trying. Like when they're firing on all cylinders. Like I find it hard for anybody to go toe to toe with WWE. They absolutely can produce the best content. They have all the potential in the world. For whatever reason, you know, the way they run their business is just not, you know, it's not fan service in mind. You know, they run their business their way, but they prove it time and time again. When they want to do fan service, when they want to produce something really high quality, oh yeah, they absolutely can. If you need any repeated proof, like they have the best promo packages, like pre-made promo reels and everything, bar none. Like that's the one thing that they consistently are fantastic on. And then I would say also their production. You know, say what you want about those like smash, like really like those million camera cuts. I could do without those a lot of the time, but I will say like bar none, like their production overall is like better than everybody's. Yeah, man. But one thing that they cannot do is they cannot compete in the ring right now, or at least they choose not to, with what you get in New Japan. And that's what we're here really to talk about is the G1 Climax. Marie, so far I haven't watched it. I'm gonna actually, I got the next 2 days off. I'm gonna watch nights 1 and 2.
Cool.
But go ahead, and I've got the nights in front of me. Tell me, what have been some highlights? What you got for me? What's been going on in the G1?
All right. So for night 1, we did say that EOP El Phantasmo versus Ospreay was gonna be the match of the night. That was definitely match of the night. So you have to like watch that one. Watch everything. There's only 4 matches of the G1 card plus undercard. You could skip the undercard if you want to. It's okay. But G1 card ELP versus Ospreay was really, really good. And I guess I could say who won. We all predicted Ospreay will win that one. Mm-hmm. So he gets his first 2 points on the board. What I really liked about this match was that because of the joke that ELP said about Ospreay during the G1 press conference, which was really fucking stupid. But it's funny either way. Ospreay was not playing no games. Ospreay was really, giving ELP some really good chops and like it was like straight out the gate. Like I couldn't freaking breathe when I was watching this match because everything was happening so fast. But El Phantasmo is known to like be that clown in the ring. Like when you saw him at Forbidden Door, Ospreay is like, no, we're not having that. We're having an actual wrestling match. So you're actually going to get a good impression of like how good ELP is. So I really highly recommend that one for D Block.
I went, I did go, I saw the ending of it while I was doing research. And I wish, oh my God, I wish you saw endings like you saw in that match more in pro wrestling when it's someone, because if, you know, pro wrestling, when you're the in-ring product is supposed to mimic combat sports. It's supposed to mimic boxing, amateur wrestling, all of these things. And in combat sports, a finish, a knockout can come out of nowhere. And I love that's how it ended with EOP. Countered an Oz cutter to a backslide, and then when he got the 2 count, he did the typical look at the ref and dispute the 2. And without missing a beat, Ospreay got up, hit him with that hidden blade, and knocked him out cold for the win. Oh, I love it. I wish we saw more like knockout blows like that out of nowhere in pro wrestling, because that is what you get in combat sports. You know, someone took their eyes off the ball for a second, and that's all it took, man. So I loved it. Go on. Sorry. Yeah. So that's good. I didn't know if I wanted to like tell the ending of like how that happened, but thank you for doing that. Oh well, why are you going to listen to people recap an event if you haven't seen it? I'm just saying that should go. Listen. If you haven't watched the G1, why are you listening to people talk about what happened in the G1? All right. Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go up to Hinari versus Tanahashi. Aaron Hinari of the United Empire. He added some more muscle onto his frame, so he's a little bit more bigger. And Tanahashi did not know how to deal with this Hinari. Tanahashi is usually the one that's always leading the matches when it comes to certain wrestlers. And this time around, Tanahashi was actually following Aaron Hinari. Which was kind of interesting. Tana did not know exactly how to handle Hinari. He tried to get in some offense here and there, but like Hinari was like, nope, I'm going to do this senton to you. You're going to feel this, and you're going to feel like my power and stuff like that. I am surprised that they decided to give Hinari his first 2 points in the G1. Because every time that, when he came into New Japan, he was considered a young lion. He graduated from the dojo. And then they automatically gave him that Islander gimmick that they always give Islanders because he's native from New Zealand. He's of I'm going to fucking mispronounce it again. Hinari, don't get mad at me. Maori background and heritage. So they always want them to do like the Islander gimmick. So he was doing that for a while and always like the losses and stuff like that, and the senpais like Tanahashi and like Tenzan and like all the people in like main corps, which is like Tanahashi's group, but like no one really talks about it. They were telling him like, oh, you have to be this way, you have to do this, you have to do that. Now that Hinari is in the United Empire and beat Tanahashi, it's like full circle for him to be like, can you see me now? Like, this is my true potential, which I really, really love.
Would you call it a coming out party for him? Like, is it that big a deal? Like, is this like his first big win over a legend? Or, because I said, I'm unfamiliar with his character. So that's kind of like how I'm perceiving how you're talking about it. Like, this is kind of like a coming out party of sorts.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, when you put it that way, yeah. Because that's exactly how like Hinari started in the beginning of his New Japan career, and then when he suffered his loss against Jay White during the New Japan Cup a couple years ago, that's when he had this really heartfelt promo where like he was all fed up about like all the frustrations and everything, and then Ospreay decided to tell him, hey, let's go out to dinner, I have this idea, and that's when he got brought into the United Empire, and then now he's a star.
Dope, man. Dope.
Yeah. I should remember these matches. Oh yeah, Sonata versus Jay White.
Yep.
Was pretty interesting. Just because Jay White was leading Sonata. I said this that Sonata is very good in ring, right? Sonata is an excellent wrestler, but he has said that he's very promo shy. That's why you barely get any promos from like Sonata. So you don't know like what this guy is thinking. Like he doesn't like to be in the spotlight. There was a time in New Japan where he was teaming up with Naito, and Naito was just like, dude, you have the microphone, go talk, go, do this, do that. But Sonata like doesn't really do that. So like Jay White took most of the story in this one to where, again, Jay White tries to get the crowd to break and make some noise and chant along with him, but no, they don't do it. Like this time around, he was trying to have them say like Sonata, Sonata, and all the fans were doing like
that's
clapping
such
along.
A weird cultural thing. Like, oh, that's crazy to me. That is so crazy to me.
Well, once the COVID restrictions get lifted, everyone could use their voice coming September. But because in certain places it's still heavily like you can't really speak, they all have to clap. But Jay White tries so hard to get them to break.
Respect to the culture, because like here in the States, there's no way you could go anywhere in the United States and tell an arena you're allowed to pack the arena, wear your masks, but you're not allowed to cheer. Everyone must remain silent. I don't think there's really many people in this country that would follow suit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just, and like I said, this isn't like a shot like on what's right and what's wrong. It's just such a cultural difference. And then you have somebody like Jay White. He's Canadian, right?
No, he is New Zealand.
New Zealand. Oh shit. Well, anyways, you have him turning it into an angle telling people to
always
break the like that's really
always
intriguing to me.
You want to hear some other stuff that I covered about, Jay White trying to guilt management and stuff like that?
Because I remember you talking last time that I think it was when he won the belt, he got everybody to cheer.
Oh yeah, he did.
Okay.
He actually did. They actually cheered when he won because that Dominion pay-per-view was in the same place where he said his goodbye to go on his excursion.
Okay.
So coming back to that place to win the belt, basically he got them to break. There's other things too with Jay White where like in the beginning of like the pandemic, and Japan was forming the rules and stuff like that. So there was a rule that like if somebody was on the other side of the barricade, like doing commentary, they were not allowed to touch the wrestler, even if the wrestler is getting in their face or whatever. They couldn't do that. So it's him, Tama and Loa before they got kicked out, going against Ishii, Goto, Yoshihashi for the never 6-man tag team championships, the trio tag team championships. And there was times where Jay got under the skin of Ishii, and like Ishii would come over and beat the shit out of him, and then Jay would be like, management, I thought you put these rules in place, like he broke the rule, like why is this happening? Like I covered that whole entire shit. That was fun though. But see, it's stuff like that Jay does that it's entertaining to like watch. Because he plays such a really good heel.
I think I think one of the first times I've seen people like play with the COVID restrictions and try to make something entertaining out of it was AEW super early on. I forget who it was, but like one of the first like no fans shows that they did. I think they were one of the first major promotion to use wrestlers as fans. But they showed, I forget who they showed, but it was like two wrestlers.
Austin Gunn, because he was yelling his head off.
Yeah.
Austin Gunn was yelling his head off every time.
But I think it was like MJF and somebody else, but they were placing bets on the matches, and
it was MJF and Perfect 10.
Yeah, there you go, Ty Dillinger. That was one of the rare highlights, I'd say, from the pandemic eras when they were having a little bit of fun with it, and so that's cool. It's cool to hear like some of the stuff New Japan's done, especially Jay White. Like I wish like I could have as a fan. I am kind of jealous that I didn't hear that crowd cheer, because that sounds to me like such a big moment. And you said it was where he left to go on excursion, so that adds to the moment even more. So that's really dope, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, because he did remind them. He basically like, I told you guys in Japanese that like you are my family, and like I want you guys to cheer. And like after a while, they really did. They fucking broke, and you can hear it. I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is why people do shit for you. he has a way of doing that, even though like I'm supposed to be upset at him for kicking out Tama and Loa the way that he did. Yeah. But there are some like redeeming qualities where it's like, all right, cool, man. I'll be behind you for this one, but I'm still like upset you kicked them out. Still upset about it. But the match between him and Sonata basically like explains to you why Jay always says you're gonna breathe with the switchblade, and that's because he loves working on the opponent's like rib cage, so like he gets to control the match and the pace, and that's what he does in like every single match. But every match is different depending on his opponent. However, I have said that never fight Jay White or any other Bullet Club member on the outside, because they are the most dangerous people on the outside of the ring, more than inside of the ring. So like he got Sonata out on the outside, and like just throwing him against the barricade. And by the way, there is no cushion for anything in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You're running into steel no matter what. What I really liked towards the ending was that they were countering each other of who could hit their finisher first and who's gonna mess up. So that one had the same effect of the ending towards El Phantasmo and Ospreay. But as we know that Jay White won this match against Sonata because they weren't gonna have Jay White lose.
Yeah, so I think that was one of our biggest locks out of the two nights that when we were guessing. I don't think any of us doubted Jay White winning. Yeah.
And then the main event, which had Okada versus Jeff Cobb. which I'm salty about.
Okay, so
So salty about this one.
why are we salty about Okada? I mean, okay, so as a casual, as a person that my New Japan habits are essentially like dream matches and Wrestle Kingdom. You know, like I am like the most casual of casual New Japan fans. I see Okada's name. At no point do I think that man loses. Like, I can't bet against him. Is that how it is today? Is Okada still like a passionate New Japan fan? Can you bet against Okada, or is he like, Cena wins, LOL? You know,
it's half and half depending on who he's going against. I still love Okada. I respect him. Like, I love what he's done and his wrestling and stuff. But the only reason why I'm salty about this is because you're gonna have to see the match after I like talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
So like, Okada isn't a big guy. He's not as big as Jeff Cobb. When you see Jeff Cobb, you're like, man, if I take like a clothesline or a lariat from this guy, I'm not getting back up, right? Like, that's like me and you.
Cobb's like for like if Otis was just ripped, if Otis didn't have body fat on him and it was just all muscle. Yeah.
So basically, think of that, right? So we know Okada to still be strong, still be agile, still be fast, and like, he's basically the golden boy of New Japan Pro Wrestling. 90% of this match was Jeff Cobb using his power. And Okada is not used to wrestling guys of Jeff Cobb's size. And this is the only time, this is the second time that they meet facing each other. So the reason why I'm salty is because like 90% of that match was like Jeff Cobb, 10% was Okada, but Okada, using his fighting spirit and that lion spirit that he has, manages to get a win over, Jeff Cobb. So obviously Okada has to get the win in the G1, get the 2 points. But yeah, I was just like, it would have been interesting to have Jeff Cobb win, because I just don't like this whole thing that New Japan does where it's like they strap the rocket to Jeff Cobb and then all of a sudden it's like, he got momentum. All right, pause, guys. And then it's like, let's start it up again. And I'm like, guys, just let Jeff Cobb do what he does, But that's the only thing I had with it. It was like, yo, Okada, you're getting overpowered. Like,
I remember, I think one of the biggest offenders of that was AEW and Darby Allin's TNT run or TNT title reign. That was like, I was kind of like in the, I don't know, like if I was like in the majority with that one, but I was tired of that title reign because of the same thing. It ended up like, now granted, this is one match you're talking about, but with Darby, it was every match. Like 90% was him just getting thrown around everywhere. He would just sneak out the victory at the end. And by like the third title defense like that, I was over it. So I in certain cases, that type of match can be entertaining, but like, especially like for you, who you're waiting to see Jeff Cobb break through that glass ceiling. Yeah, I could see how I'd be salty too. I totally get it.
Because that time that Ospreay broke his neck after he faced Shingo and he had to vacate the belt, Jeff Cobb was there carrying United Empire on his back along with everyone else. And then, finally New Japan giving Jeff Cobb and the Great O'Khan the tag belts, having them lose to Bullet Club, only to get it back, and then to lose to FTR, and now they're here in the G1, and I'm here like, still give him the momentum. I get that. Okada's your golden boy. He's going to be your golden boy for like 100 years from now. Like him losing the G1 is not going to really do anything to him.
So a lot of just start and stop with this guy.
Yeah. It just fucking sucks.
Trying to think of like who else I've seen like that with, like, I mean, I guess back when Rusev was like a monster, you had it with him. They'd push Rusev and then he'd run into like John Cena. They did the same thing with Bray Wyatt. They'd push him and then he'd run into John Cena. Especially
with Bray. Bray had a lot of like inconsistencies with like the stories that he wanted to tell. And like, we were there like, oh my God, this is so good. It reminds me of like a horror movie. And then like all of a sudden it lost the momentum and you're like, WWE, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, where are we going?
But that's cool. No, Cobb looks like a beast. I'll say that. Once again, coming in as a casual, the stuff that I've seen Jeff Cobb do, I love his finisher. It's one of my one of my favorite finishers. Because it's such like just a strong man move, and he can do it so well to people. You know, it suits him. You know, like it's okay for wrestlers to have finishers that suit them. I was actually thinking to myself earlier today. After I saw that the hidden blade highlight from Ospreay's match where he hit that, one of the first things I thought of afterwards, I was like, John Cena went to Japan and tried to come up with some strike, and it was like the worst thing. And to this day, I still can't tell if it was a practical joke or not. His sixth move of doom. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that sliding in like back fist type deal.
No, I don't think I ever saw that. He went to Japan with like the rest of them, right? Like they were on tour.
Well, yeah. So they were. I forget what he was doing. This is well after he become a part timer, and he was coming in and doing some stuff. But he got on social media, and he was teasing a sixth move of doom. I think he was doing something with Jackie Chan, is what I want to say. I think he was doing something with Jackie Chan, and he teases it.
Are you sure this is not China?
China. Maybe it was China. No, it probably was China. But anyways, he it ended up being when he finally debuted it ended up being like it looked like a joke. He like charges up like an anime character, like he crosses his chest and he charges up.
Oh my God.
And then after like this dramatic charge, he just kind of reaches out and like just like little pap, like just with his fist. It looks like a weak jab. And it doesn't even touch the guy. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't even touch him. And everyone tried to this day, where everyone's still wondering if this was like just a huge prank on Twitter and the audience, because he built so much hype up into this move. And it was,
oh my God.
Yeah, that's why never saw him. Like, he's never done it. Like, he's only done it like maybe 4 or 5 times. And it's been completely abandoned.
Oh man! When you tell me that, the first thing I thought of was like Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. That's kind of it's kind of, you're not far off, man.
And then all of a sudden he just taps them and that's it. Like that's what happens in Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my God! You know what? If you move on to night 2, unless there's anything else in night 1,
nah, that's it.
I'm sure. With 30 seconds on Twitter, I can find the move and then I'll just like DM it to you.
Yeah, you can. For night 2, I am calling it Bad Blood, just because there's 2 matches that has some Bad Blood little history and stuff like that. Which, you know, I kind of wanted to sort of sample Taylor Swift's Bad Blood, just her hook into the chorus for these matches, because I was just like, oh, this is interesting. So we start off with Ishii versus Taichi.
Okay.
So this one was okay. It was an okay match. It could have been better. I will say that there is history between them, only because Ishii, the way he came up in the business for like New Japan and stuff, was the very hard working way. Like, you know, you don't cut corners. You gotta like do everything like, you know, either by the book. You gotta like work hard. You're gonna get there, right?
Yeah.
Taichi, on the other hand, you know, is basically like, you know, he got to his position by following certain wrestlers that were already established, and then like, you know, just doing what he can. So to Ishii, it seems like cutting corners sometimes. And then Taichi just has this thing of just being so witty, and he's able to like be snarky and snide like to you in like responses.
Taichi's the one that comes to the ring with the microphone, right?
Yes. He is also known as our Holy Emperor. Taichi.
Okay. He looks like a villain from like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, or people have compared him to Phantom of the Opera.
That I didn't want to go that route. I felt like everybody's totally, the mask, everything, it totally makes sense.
And then Taichi always usually does a lot of things for views, because he does have a YouTube channel. So sometimes he's like, "Yo, I need views." While Ishii over here is like, you got to be a wrestler type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So basically, there goes the backstory for you to understand this match and why I would like dub it like Bad Blood. And like I said, it could have been a little bit better. The most interesting thing is that in the beginning of the match, so like they start with their collar and elbow tie up, very traditional. And then somewhere in that like sequence, freaking Taichi like slaps the shit out of Ishii and like dazes the hell out of him to where it looks like Ishii's soul like left his body. And I'm like, Ishii, that doesn't happen to you until like halfway through the match or towards the ending with your other opponents. But Taichi is able to do this to you. Like, I was like, oh, okay, so Ishii's probably gonna lose this one because of that happened early in the match. Like, I don't understand. By the way, Ishii's knee is okay because, as you know, for Forbidden Door, he couldn't wrestle because of his knee.
Yeah.
His knee is fine now, even though he has knee problems.
That's some bullshit. He could have come in. Who did we get again? We got fucking the Ascension. We got the Ascension. What? Connor and Victor came in or something in his place.
Seriously? I am interviewing Clark Connors on Tuesday.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, man. I'm just joking.
But yeah, I mean, nothing too big to like point out for like the first match, other than like if you want to know, Taichi does Undertaker's last ride. So imagine getting that big ass guy Ishii up on your shoulders to do like the freaking last ride for that. Yeah, so he does that. But yeah, this.
So he does it full on like Undertaker 2. He doesn't come down with him. It's kind of like he extends him up and then jackknifes him down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, sweet deal. Because Keith Lee does it in the Spirit Bomb, but he comes down with him. It's a sit down one.
Yeah, no. Taichi doesn't sit down with him. He just he does it like Undertaker.
That's my favorite type right there, man. Yeah, that's my favorite type. I love the last ride.
Yeah, but yeah, nothing really like interesting stuck out in that match other than like having to tell you guys the backstory of like, why they're like this and why the match wasn't so good. Because like if you don't know, you're gonna be like, oh, because Ishii does have really good matches. Taichi has really good matches depending on the opponent. This one was just like, what are we doing, guys?
And you said he got rocked early on.
Yeah.
Do you think that was the story of the match, or do you think like just one slipped through and kind of put him on skates for a moment there?
I think it was the second one that like it just slipped through and just put him on skates because usually when Ishii gets that like glassy eye look, like I said, it's usually towards him having a fantastic chop exchange and like strike exchange during like the beginning to like almost the middle, but then the middle to the ending when like they're really throwing their like strongest punches and stuff. That's when he gets rocked.
Yeah.
But this time it was like in the beginning, I was like, whoa. You're usually like Ishii, the Stone Pitbull. Nothing really gets through to you except for that palm strike.
Well, we saw a guy in New Japan not that long ago, maybe like 2 months ago, maybe get like knocked out, and it was a 6-man tag. I saw the highlight. I put it on my Facebook, but I don't know the names, unfortunately. But this guy, he ate a slap. All it was, he ate a slap to the face. And he went down like a sack of bricks, and he was completely knocked out. And you could tell the wrestlers were trying to sort it on the fly. Like the guy who hit him, knocked him out, pinned him with his foot, but then took his foot off of him when he realized he wasn't going to kick out. And then a wrestler from the guy's team came in and like had a stare down while the ref was trying to like wake the dude up. And then they just called the match. And I remember I was like, Jesus Christ, because those we're so conditioned to see those chops and those slaps to the face, and like, okay, these guys are eating them and it's great storytelling, and you realize it's like, dude, it's like an inch away from like concussion city and going to sleep. It's nuts, man.
Yeah, that's also the other thing too. Watching so many Ishii matches. He eats those, and this is the one time where like that one slips in.
Yeah,
like,
man.
He got him good though, but I was just like, yo, something's up with this. But yeah, the next one is Jonah versus Yano.
Hold on, before we get into my favorite match of this whole show, I sent you the John Cena six move of doom. I want you to review it here on air.
All right, so okay, so hold on.
Because you're a fan of. He said this is let's just say Eastern inspired, so we can roll in Japan and China together.
This one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a good thing you sent me the video because I would have never remembered. Oh yeah. He powers up.
He does too. He powers the fuck up, man.
Okay, I remember this one. Yeah. I just think, yeah, he's just a clown playing around.
That's him pranking us, right?
Yeah. He thinks he's Goku.
Dude, he went on a campaign and got everybody stoked. The new 6 move of doom, like.
Oh my god. Okay, I remember that now.
And this is after John Cena's busting out like springboard stunners and code reds.
Yeah.
You know? And we're here this new innovative move Cena's gonna do, and it's that.
But yeah, you know, Cena, like it's one of those things of like when the internet continues to like troll you and tell you about your flaws over and over and over again, and you just want to be like, all right, you guys keep talking. I got six moves now. What are you gonna say, right? Yeah. John Cena hit us with the I got you moment.
Oh my god. Anyways, back to your boy Jano beating Jonah.
Oh my god!
I haven't seen it yet, but I read about it, and it's exactly how you said. I mean, it's you almost predicted it to a T.
Yeah, man.
How it would go.
Ah, man. Like, if you guys saw my tweet on Twitter, I really did say fuck Jano and that bullshit win, man. Like, so bullshit.
You called it to like a T.
Because I'm so used to what Jano does. Like, Jano cheats way better than like the Bullet Club members, which is sad. And RN saying that, you know, Jano is like New Japan's R-Truth. He really is.
But he gets W's. He gets where truth is eating the L's every time, and Jano's over here. I guess unless you count R-Truth's like 24/7 stuff, because those are technically wins, but no, Jano's winning full on matches. Fuck that. Like, yeah, Jano's winning actual full on wrestling matches. That blows my mind, man.
And then basically and by the way, you're gonna get used to Kevin Kelly saying my monitor every time Jano shows up, which is code for low blow, but I didn't see it.
Oh, wow. Like, okay. Thank you. Yeah. I'll look out for that detail now when I watch it.
So basically, every time you watch a Jano match and he does like a low blow in any fashion, Kevin Kelly will say,
he's covering
my
for
monitor's
him.
Out.
Yeah, he's covering for the cheater.
And then basically he'll get like a note or someone in his ear being like, what? Low blow? I didn't see that. My monitor wasn't working.
That's awesome.
Kevin, I love Kevin, but like, man,
he's up there. A lot of people praise Kevin Kelly like he's like one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly has done a really good job with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then having Chris Charlton there with him, it's like a really good team that I really love listening to. Of course, Chris Charlton can't be with him in every single New Japan event as they move around Japan because Chris has to stay to Tokyo for like the main offices. But when he's there with Kevin Kelly, it's a really fun time.
Now, is Kevin Kelly there live, or is he dubbing over it remotely?
No, he's not. He's there live.
Oh, dope, man. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's there live.
Because I remember, I remember that. Now I know like New Japan is live, so that's a little different. But back in the day, Pride, Pride Fighting Championship.
Yeah.
They used to have like Boss Rutan and I forget who else would do the English commentary at times, but theirs would be dubbed over in post. Like they'd go into a recording booth and do it. And famously, one time, Boss Rutan was doing commentary, and you could see him on camera, which was one of the weirdest things. He wasn't he wasn't fighting, but he was in one of the fighters' corners. So you can see him commentating, and then you see him also like toweling off one of the fighters, and it was a really funny Easter egg. Yeah.
I will say that during the pandemic, Kevin Kelly did do remote commentary. And then when it came to the big events, it was a team of Chris Charlton and Kevin Kelly. I think like New Japan Cup this year or last year, he had to do a remote. So yeah, it just depends, but he's a very great asset to New Japan. He gets very passionate at times. He doesn't like Bullet Club and stuff.
To anybody listening, my son just showed up in the booth to show us what he built with his Legos. I have got to start locking this door, Marie. His blocks, excuse me. All right.
His blocks?
Go on, buddy. Cool. Good job. Good job. All right. Back to New Japan. Sorry. Listen, you're always guaranteed to get at least one DJ cameo. So
your boy is gonna be the new architect.
That's what it is.
But yeah, Jonah versus Jano. I wish that to me, I don't think Jano really needs to be in the G1. There could have been other people that would have gladly taken his spot.
He does feel kind of like an odd person. As a casual. Once again, I'm not trying to speak as I know anything about New Japan, but literally as fresh eyes looking in, he does stand out amongst the crowd.
Yeah, he does. Because in the beginning of the match, he tries to create a friendship with Jonah by giving him a t-shirt and yelling out friendship. And I'm here like, oh my God. For the casual, if you enjoy kind of comedy, it'll work. But for someone like me, that I'm like, oh my God, Jano, why?
How old is this man, by the way?
He has to be in his 40s.
Jano, let me look this up.
He can't be anything younger than in his 40s.
He's actually younger than I anticipated. He's 44. Okay,
he's 44. See, he's in his 40s.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he does have a violent streak. If you ever want to go back and watch this one freaking match that he created for the King of Pro Wrestling trophy, it was one of those times where New Japan was experimenting with really creative matches where I was just like, yo, New Japan, tell me you're kinky without being kinky. It's this one. Okay. Hear me out. So Jano is back to a violent streak because at the time Chase Owens took the trophy off of him. So Jano decided to do this reverse battle royale in a way where there's handcuffs all along the ring and the guardrail, and wrestlers come out in the standard Royal Rumble type of thing. Okay, so wait, it's not really reverse. I guess not. But you're not throwing your opponent over. You're handcuffing them to the ring rope and or the guardrail, and that means that they're out.
All right, so they come in time increments like a Royal Rumble, but instead of being tossed over the top rope,
they have to be handcuffed.
So they're fighting in the ring.
Yes, and outside too.
And outside too. And where are they getting handcuffed to? Trying to picture this.
To either the guardrail, wherever they see one, or inside the ring.
So they can be handcuffed to the guardrail outside, or they can be handcuffed and still in the ring.
Yes,
but technically they're out of the match. Are they participating like some handicapped lumberjacks? Where if you get too close to one, they like a chomp from Nintendo, and they just fucking get a hold of you.
Yep, they were picking these. Yeah,
I have to fucking watch this. This is right up my alley of shenanigans.
It happened during Wrestle Grand Slam.
Grand Slam.
Yeah. Also, it was on the pre-show, so make sure to watch that one if you want some entertainment with Jano and his creations. Because this guy.
Okay, Wrestle Grand Slam. I'm just typing it in right now, so I'll have it ready.
Wrestle Grand Slam. Also, you get to watch some Stardom matches on that same card. So, on the pre-show, you get introduced to Stardom women, which they are fantastic. They are fantastic, man.
Yeah, I've heard when people are having conversations with some of the best women divisions, out there, Stardom comes up in the conversation. Usually the two big ones I hear is Stardom, and then of course the Knockouts division and TNA are the two big ones I hear outside of WWE.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, Jano wins. Fuck Jano.
All right.
Kenta versus Zack Sabre Jr. This one is a very interesting match, and this again has some fucking bad blood with it too. Just because Kenta is like, I am your senpai, Zack Sabre Jr., respect me. Zack Sabre Jr. is like, no, I'm not gonna call you my senpai. You're not my senpai. No, we're not doing this. Like Kenta has this thing of like, he feels and believes that Zack Sabre Jr. is beneath him.
Yeah.
When in reality, Zack Sabre Jr. is the technical wizard, and he shows off a lot of his technical skills in this match for Kenta. To the point where Kenta got too big into his freaking ego and lost to Zack Sabre Jr. in the most stupidest way ever.
Yeah, it shows. I'm reading, and it shows that he got caught in a triangle choke, which is cool. I don't see triangles often in pro wrestling.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a triangle choke, because when you're looking at it, it looked like an octopus laying down, but he was pulling on Kenta's bad arm that has been like surgically repaired many times. So like, automatically Kenta like tapped out because Zack Sabre Jr. was focusing on not only Kenta's legs, but also that that hurt body part too. But yeah, man, like if Kenta did not get into his head, into his ego, he would have won the match and he would have got his first 2 points. But Zack Sabre Jr. got it. I'm not too upset about it. But if you go on to YouTube and watch the backstage comments for Kenta,
yeah,
make sure to put it in English, because he starts off in Japanese and then he finishes it in English. So the English part was kind of funny, where he's all like, Zack, do you remember when I was struggling in WWE? You were the only one that texted me and you told me that I got this. I'm really paraphrasing, but he said something along those lines to be wholesome. And then Kenta was like, I'm never going to forget what you said, but it's still fuck Zack. Something like that. But like he just does this thing and I'm like, the fuck? like Kenta's amazing.
So in New Japan, they will reference WWE?
Yeah, they don't really tell them what not to do.
Okay.
Will. Yeah. See, when you're in New Japan, they don't necessarily give you like, any type of direction or like script. Once you go to the backstage comments, you can say whatever you want. There has been a couple of times where like these guys will say something really off the handle, and like management the next day would be like, you can't say that stuff. But for the most part,
they allow them to go out there and make their mistakes though. Yeah.
They will reference that. What else? I think I don't know. I remember some thought left out of my head about the whole Kenta thing. I don't know what the fuck it was. What was I thinking?
Not sure. I'll say one thing about Zack Sabre Jr., man. As somebody who's a fan of like technical wrestling and especially submission wrestling. ZSJ there. He's fucking awesome to watch. Yeah. Like I love submission wrestling, and he seems to be like to be carrying that flag of technical wrestler, because when you hear about guys that like that's the bulk of their style. Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. seems to be almost entirely alone in that conversation, and then the only other name I hear that gets brought up, even remotely close to it, is Jonathan Gresham.
And then also Bryan Danielson too at one point.
Yeah, like he was. You hear Bryan Danielson, but Bryan, he's got a lot more like strikes, I would think too. He's also known like he hits hard, whereas
now he does. When he was American Dragon, he was like more technical.
Oh yeah, that is before I didn't get privy to him until he was already in WWE, and I learned about him along with all the other filthy casuals. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I get that. Jonathan Gresham and Zack Sabre Jr. are in that same talking point. Mm-hmm. Also, if you ever get the chance to watch the Forbidden Door documentary that New Japan Pro Wrestling did, it's a fantastic documentary.
Oh, sweet.
To the point where I watched it and I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had William Regal talking about the first time he ever went to New Japan Pro Wrestling, because at the time, in the late 80s into like early 90s, WCW and New Japan had their partnership, so they were able to bring some people over, and they brought over William Regal. They brought over Sting. Sting fought Inoki, so he gets to have those bragging rights. Which, by the way, you can watch that pay-per-view on YouTube. It's for free. It's the 91 Showdown, which I want to watch with my community, because I was just like, yeah, I just want to see this. But getting onto the with the British style and the technical style, William Regal said that he's proud of Zack Sabre Jr. when he signed with New Japan, because nobody does British style anymore.
Right.
They don't keep it traditional, there are some British wrestlers that will keep it like British base, but sometimes that doesn't really get over with everybody, because you need a little bit of everything. You can't just go straight like technical with nothing else.
Wasn't in WWE Jack Gallagher wasn't he kind of, I guess actually looking back thinking about it, Gallagher kind of seemed to carry that unique grappling style, where he was really slick. It's a shame he had to, I guess he was part of that Me Too movement and he got canceled along with a ton of other bullshit. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but it sucks.
But now he's doing pretty well in combat sports. He's doing bare knuckle fighting now. So he went back to that. But yeah, like William Regal gave props to Zack Sabre Jr. for keeping that style. Sting said his piece about New Japan. Jericho explained why he always wanted to work for New Japan, even in the 90s. You have like Tanahashi talking about like the partnership that AEW has with New Japan, and like all these like wrestling matches. Shingo too. It's just a really good documentary to watch. I do remember what I wanted to mention.
Okay.
It took me a while. Do you want to hear my favorite love story in New Japan Pro Wrestling that involves Kenta and Bo-chan?
Go ahead. I'm all ears.
So this was my like favorite thing to cover for Kenta. Kenta, this is before Kenta fought Tanahashi in his hardcore match. So Kenta was just randomly getting into fights with Yoshihashi of Chaos, and Yoshihashi's tag team partner is Goto, and they both come out with these staffs, right? You saw them at the Forbidden Door, right? So for some reason, Kenta was like, Yoshihashi, like, you're not treating your bow staff right. Like, your bow staff is telling me all this stuff.
When you see me turn away, it's me. I'm sorry. When you see me turn away, it's me pulling it up, and I can see him with his fucking bow staff that you're talking about.
Yeah. So basically he's telling like, Yoshihashi, like, oh, the bow staff told me this, you're not treating the bow staff right, like all this stuff, right? Like the typical things a girl would tell their best male friend that like their boyfriend is not really doing much for them. So think of that, right? So this keeps going on for a little while until freaking Kenta decides to steal Bo-chan away from Yoshihashi. And on Twitter, freaking Kenta was putting up romantic poems about the bow staff, taking pictures with the bow staff on like going on like holiday and shit and stuff like that. And Kenta's a romantic, and I was like, yo, those poems are like actually nice, man. I think that this is how you got your wife, probably. Like, she probably enjoys the freaking poems. They fight a little bit more in this feud until like the very end of the feud. Yoshihashi manages to get a win over Kenta and take Bo-chan back, and now starts the whole little mini story arc of like the ex-girlfriend and like, Bo-chan not really, being the best that Kenta thought that this bow staff will have. So like, we don't talk about Bo-chan anymore because it upsets Kenta.
Don't bring up Bo-chan.
Because Bo-chan went back with Yoshihashi. And then like, I remember there was like a quick thing where like where Kenta got like another inanimate object
This is up there when like Dolph Ziggler and Lana wore like double denim. Like this is fucking stupid. All right, look.
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember if like he got another inanimate object to like be like, you know, oh, this is like my new thing now. But that whole love story though, I was just like, yo, I'm so invested in this that I'm just like, this is so stupid with Kenta.
This is up there with like great inanimate objects of pro wrestling. You got like Mitch the Plant, Moppy, and Bochan. All right, this is dope.
I still like that story. That's exactly what I wanted to mention to you before we got off on that. I was like, what the fuck I want to mention?
Is this post WWE, I'm assuming?
Well, this is all in New Japan, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant, like post WWE, like after Kenta left. All right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because these pictures, he has the purple hair and shit. Okay,
it's super fun. I'm just like, this is great.
You're right though. Like I said, like that's one of my big misconceptions about New Japan. Being such an outsider is, you know, because obviously when people share the highlights, I see the in-ring style, which is so serious and so, it's so lovely, especially as somebody who's like a really big fan of combat sports, MMA and boxing, that it doesn't even occur to me that they do the silliness, the silly angles that you get in pro wrestling, just because like, that's just never what I'm seeing shared online. You know what I mean? So that's it still throws me for a loop, Marie, every time you tell me shit like this. Like you got this, and then like you said, the loaded boot story. I fucking love loaded boot story. And then of course what's coming up next? Juice Rock Hard Robinson fucking taking on Shingo.
Yeah, man. This one was actually a good one. To me, I think this one was one of the good matches. You know, out of you know, the other three and stuff like that. Juice is actually using some Jay White tactics in this one, which is kind of interesting. Because I don't know how much, you know, Juice was following what Jay White was doing when he was like flamboyant Juice Robinson. But like instances where like Shingo would get in like 2 elbow drops, and then all of a sudden, you know, Juice sees like another oncoming attack, so Juice will roll out of the ring. Jay White does that shit to like the veterans, and the veterans hate it. There's times where like Juice just gets out of the way, and I'm like, oh, this is all Jay White stuff, man. Like, you know, you're listening to Jay White if he's ever giving you props. Shingo, you know, was on his offense against Juice. Watching a Shingo match doesn't really disappoint, but this is like the opening night, so like it's not as good as like, you know, later on Shingo as the matches get harder and stuff like that. No pun intended to Rock Hard Juice Robinson. I just realized that. I'm starting to get heartburn.
No, you're good. I see you over there. No, do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah, I just hate getting heartburn though. I
honestly usually keep a bottle of Tums within arm's reach. I know all about it. Trust me.
Yeah. Juice did take advantage of Shingo by like throwing him into the ring post, into the guardrail. Like I said, if you are battling Bullet Club, please do not battle them on the outside. Like guys, like don't battle them on the outside. Because it's never a good thing. There was like a lot of counters and stuff. The cool thing about Shingo is that Shingo is going to go for a brain buster, but somehow in midair, freaking Juice shifted his weight. So all we got was like a snap suplex. So, you know, Shingo is very good on like, you know, oh, this guy shifted his weight. Like, don't do that either. You can get hurt. Like, you can get hurt with that shit. I saw it and I was like, that's not a brain buster. What is that?
It's a regular suplex. I got you now.
Like, you know, Shingo was, like I said, was countering and stuff like that. They were doing like powerful shots like towards the end of their match. But I believe that this is how you call Juice's finisher. I believe it's called Pulp. What is it? Pulp Friction.
Pulp Friction. Oh, come on.
Yeah, dude. So okay. So you remember? I think Christian still does the Unprettier.
Yeah.
Where he turns him around and then like he drops down.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
basically
He did it to Jungle Boy most recently, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. That move is what Juice does as like the second finisher if his left hand of God, which is just a left hand punch, doesn't knock out the guy. But yeah, he calls that
Pulp friction.
I think so.
Fucking kidding me. No, here on WrestlingInc.com. Yeah, it says it. Yeah.
With friction, right? With the R.
With R, yeah. Pulp friction.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, am I saying Pulp Fiction? Like, it's not the movie.
It's a huge, huge pun for the famous 90s Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good match. Like I said, I think that Juice Robinson is a wild card in Block D. Juice is all like, he's going to beat everybody. Of course he is. For him to win over Shingo, like I said, that's going to be chaos. No pun intended to the faction that's there, but it's gonna be chaos that Shingo lost to Juice Robinson.
That's dope, man. Go rock hard. I'm so happy Jano and Juice won. Those are the two people I'm pulling for the most in this whole thing. So when's we'll do a little bit of the housekeeping now. When's the next matches, or when's the next events for the G1?
All right, give me a second. I gotta bring that up.
Now, so you should have that on your end.
Yeah. So we just finished Saturday and Sunday. We're going to Wednesday, July 20th.
Okay.
And then I realized that I messed up my July schedule because I skipped the 23rd.
Okay, so it's Wednesday and Saturday are the next two nights?
Wednesday and the 23rd is a Saturday. Yeah. Do
you want to quickly just we can do
Wednesday.
Well, I was gonna say is just rapid fire, just in case I don't do another episode of the Rewind until the 24th. Do you want to do like a rapid fire just reading of the tournament matches, and then we can just do some quick gut picks for it?
Yeah, I have it right here. I have it up.
Okay, so you have it up. So go ahead and just read off the match and the matches, and we'll just do some quick picks.
All right, so for Wednesday, July 20th, guys, we have Block A, Lance Archer versus Bad Luck Fale.
Oh, it's going to Archer.
Archer.
Yeah.
It's going to Archer, which, by the way, during Archer's backstage comments, he did say that 3 years ago when he was in New Japan, he did beat Bad Luck Fale. I don't see Fale winning this one, so I'm going to go with Lance Archer.
He's also the only AEW rep in New Japan, so he's got to get some points.
Yeah. All right. So Block B, we have Tama Tonga taking on Chase Owens. You guys know I'm picking Tama.
Let's go Tama. Let's go fucking Tama. Yeah.
Which, by the way, he said it took him 93 hours to get to Japan because of United Airlines. Yo, United Airlines, do a little bit better for Tama. He missed the G1 conference, the press conference. Man. All right. So for Block C, we have Hiroki Goto, which you guys saw over at Forbidden Door, versus Naito. What do you got?
I'm just because I'm more from my casual standpoint. I've seen Naito, so I'm going to go with him. I don't know much about Goto.
You should watch my tape study Tuesday about Goto. Which I
also
have.
Shout out to King Wintray, just first time chatter. What's up, buddy?
Oh, that's Caleb. What's up, Caleb?
Hey, Caleb.
Yeah. He's my buddy. So as much as I, like Naito is like the older brother that you just want to be like, what's wrong with you half the time. He likes to have a good time. Dude, like Naito is super funny in wrestling. For like when we were talking about those weird angles that like New Japan does, like this guy, man, like you got to watch some of his like backstage comments, which is hilarious. Him and Hiromu are like brothers.
I remember so back when it was, I think, leading into the first of the three matches of Okada and Omega, I think Naito was Intercontinental Champion, and I think I remember the story was like that he had no respect for the belt, like he would drag it around and
that
stuff.
One.
Yeah. So that's like as familiar as I am with his storytelling and stuff.
Yeah. So my pick is going to be Goto because I would like Goto to get, some more recognition. And then finally, we got Block D. We got David Finlay versus Yujiro Takahashi.
Let's get Finlay a win, and maybe we'll get a match between him and Juice. That's happening Tuesday, July 26th. So I say Finlay wins, just to lead into that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Finlay. Usually I would bet against him because I was on the side of Jay White, but now it's all like, all right, Finlay, let's see what you can do now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, did you want to go over the 23rd too, or
just because my next scheduled rewind, just in case you and I can't collab between now and next Sunday, we might as well just toss out some quick predictions.
All right, give me a second. I got to bring it up on New Japan World because, like I said, I missed it. I don't know how I missed it.
JJ
oversight.
JJ, who's always in the chat with here on Smack Rush. She says she's been lurking. She says I may need to tweet out my sources said Taylor Swift to WWE.
WWE.
Her notification. Wait, what? Taylor Swift? No. Okay, what? Hold on. Taylor Swift.
I may need to tweet out my sources said Taylor Swift to WWE. You probably can to get that going. I just want to use Bad Blood for for my thing. Unless some weird shit happened on Twitter where Taylor Swift is like, I'm going to be a WWE wrestler, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. That comment just threw me off, man. I'm over here Googling, is Taylor Swift about to show up on Raw? And apparently she did show up on Raw back in 2015.
Yeah.
No shit.
Well, if Jake Paul, can work for WWE, why not?
Apparently Justin Bieber was supposed to have a match at SummerSlam one year.
Oh my God. I think I heard that. Anyway, let's
finish this up.
The 23rd. All right. So the 23rd goes as follows. For C Block, we have Zack Sabre Jr. taking on my boy Aaron Henare. What do you got?
Let's keep Zack rolling. I'm gonna go with Zack.
All right, I'm gonna go with Henare. For Block D, we have Yoshihashi taking on Shingo.
Let's go Shingo. Just for my boy RN. He's a huge Shingo fan, so I'm gonna give him my pick.
I don't see Yoshihashi winning this one. I'm going with Shingo. For A Block, oh my God, you're gonna love this one. We have Okada taking on your boy Jano.
Jano, all day. Jano with the roll up.
Yeah, but I thought you said you couldn't bet against Okada.
Oh, apparently there's a caveat. There's a caveat for that.
All right. I'll allow that. I get that. I totally get that. And then this match, I've seen this match forever. Oh my God, they got to stop booking these two guys together. B Block, we have Ishii taking on Jay White.
Oh, I guess I'll go Jay. He's the champ. I can't bet against the active champ.
Yeah.
So, go Jay.
I've covered a lot of their matches and I'm a little sick of it. But I am gonna go with Jay on that one. I'm just a little sick of it.
Sick, man. I appreciate it, Marie. Before we get out of here, let's do some plug-in. What you got going on?
All right, guys. So while I did talk about night 1 and night 2 here with Kyle and then explaining all the goofy stories that New Japan Pro Wrestling has, over on marieshadows.substack.com, you can listen to my audio reviews over there about the night 1 and night 2. However, I did break them up into free and then paid just because I am a one-woman army doing all of this content for the G1, and it does take time and effort for it. So if you want to go over to marieshadows.substack.com, there are many ways to support all the original content that I do, and I always keep it transparent. I don't lie to you guys. I don't scam you guys. So, you can go check that out. Also, tomorrow I'll be live on my channel talking about wrestling, having a good time, and then Tuesday, July 19th, I will be having NJPW star Clark Connors on to be interviewed, and that's going to be super, super fun. I can't wait for that one. But yeah, check me out also on Twitter at Marie_Shadows, and then follow my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Marie_Shadows for all G1 coverage.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you stopping by. You guys, you know what? You guys can follow me on Twitter at The Kai Tai Show. Otherwise, I got nothing left to plug. Marie, thank you so much for coming by tonight.
Okay. You're welcome, dude. Love this.
Yeah. Nah, man, you can low key probably replace RN. Who knows? But no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Before we go, this is probably going to get us like at least a copyright strike or something, but I don't care. Our boy Heel Tactics on Twitter is back doing his remixes of famous Attitude Era themes. So we're closing out tonight's show. He remixed my personal favorite entrance song, The Brood's, whatever the official title of it. It's The Brood's entrance. Okay, he remixed it. It's fucking awesome. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, y'all have a good one.
Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart.
Oh, that ain't it. Hold on.
Okay.
There it is. Okay.
Always.